5 side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier to stay consistent with your stretching. All right? We're going to go ahead and get started with our hip cars as our first warm-up exercise, and it looks a little bit like this. I want you to lift your knee up as high as you can. Lift, 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 lift some more. Keep lifting. Higher than you think possible. You'll always be able to go higher, probably, if you pull your leg up a little bit with your hands, but you don't have to do that. Just try your best with your muscles. From here, we're going to open up that leg, point that knee directly to the side, as far wide that way as you can, and then see if you can lift just a little bit higher. All right? From here, we're going to rotate the leg. We're going to bring the ankle up until the ankle is hidden behind the knee. From the side, it's going to look like it's horizontal. All right? From there, we're going to keep on rotating. We're going to bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up. Until your hamstrings are about to cramp up. Then we want to bring that leg down and back. All right? When you bring it down and back, I want you to flex the hamstrings. I want you to flex the glutes. I want you to feel the stretch right here in the front. That is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. Let's get ready to begin. For whatever reason, I decided to start on my right leg today instead of my left leg, which I usually start on. So we'll see how this goes. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Oof. Down and back. That's 4. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. High knee. Open. Last one. Really focus on rotating. Bring that ankle up. Down and back. Lift that leg. That's 10. My hamstring almost cramped up just now. That's 1 leg. We got another leg to do. Let's get ready to go. Take a nice big deep breath in. Keep that core nice and strong and tight. Plant 1 leg in the ground. Spread those toes. Grip the floor and high knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 1. Remember, this is called hip cars. Cars stands for controlled, articulated rotations. So we're trying to have a bunch of control. We're trying to move through the maximum range of motion we can have access to using our own muscle power. And I think that's like 2 or 3. I'm going to pretend that's 3. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. The reason why we do these is because it forces you to get stronger and have more control over your legs. All right. If you ever want to kick somebody high in the face and lift your leg up real cool, like those Taekwondo athletes that show up on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff, you got to have strength. You got to have control in those legs. And this is what we're working on, except in our hips. All right. Whew, I think it's like 6. I'm going to call it 6. I have no idea how many of these we've done. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. Last 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Oh, man. Those are some hip cars. Going forward. Slap your hamstrings. Slap your legs. Give your hips a little light massage. And we're going to start going in reverse. All right? When we go in reverse, we're mostly doing the same movements, but the order is a little different. All right? We're going to start by bringing the leg down and back. I want you to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel that stretch in the hip flexor. All right? If you need a little bit of help with balance, make sure to hold on to something. I can't hold on to a wall while still looking at you guys. So don't do as I do, do as I say. All right? From here, we'll bring this leg down and back. We're going to lift that leg up to the side, and we're going to try and get that knee and the ankle to about horizontal. All right? We're going to feel the contraction right here. Then we're going to rotate the knee down and the ankle up. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to rotate the ankle down, lift the knee up. We're going to bring the knee to the front. That is 1 rep of the reverse hip car. Since I held those positions for a really long time, my muscles are telling me they're tired. So give me a second before we get into the next one. Let's go. Core tight. Step into that ground and let's begin. Back, side, knee down, knee up, knee forward, back, side, knee down, knee up, knee forward. That's 2. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 3. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 4. Keep going. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. I think that's 6. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. 7. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 8. Back, side, knee down, knee up, knee forward. I think that's 9. Last one. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 10. Oh, those are some reverse hip curls. We got one last leg to do. We just finished this one. We're going to do this one. Let's get ready to wrap up warm up exercise number 1. Splay those toes. Stomp your feet into the ground. Grip the floor. Core tight. Let's begin. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. Actually, we were saying knee, knee, knee before. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. I think that's 3. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 4. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. 5. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. 6. 4 more. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. 7. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. 8. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 9. Last one. Back, side, knee, knee, knee. That's 10. Oh man, that's done. We are done with the first warm-up exercise. Those are the hip curls. We're going to move on into exercise number 2, warm-up exercise number 2. It's called the elephant walk. All right. What I want you to do is fold at the hips, bring a belly button down into the ground. Fold, 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 fold. Fold some more. Keep folding. Fold. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. Flop a little deeper into your stretch. From here, we're going to add some movement. Right. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other leg. We're going to bring our belly button down into the ground. And we're going to fold like so. From here, we're going to switch our legs, the one that is bent to the one that is straight, over and over and over again. And the whole time, you're going to be feeling some craziness in your hamstrings. All right, let's go. Start a couple right away. And there's not an exact number that we're going to do because I'm going to tell you about the show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we are about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with. If you don't know, we do this live every single day, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Feel free to join in as often or as infrequently as you'd like. And just know we're here to help you practice consistency. All right? If you like side splits, if you want to work on your hip mobility, if you need a little bit of help staying consistent, then this is the show for you. Make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back, set an alarm, set a calendar invite, and you have heard enough about the show. Let's continue. Fold your belly button down a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Go, ooh, and switch. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That is it. That is our second warm-up exercise. Come on up into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. We're going to move on into warm-up exercise number 3. It's called thoracic rotation. What we want to do is open up our legs, not super crazy wide, just a little bit. And actually, we're going to get back into the position we were just in. All right, so we're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other. We're going to fold our belly button down to the floor. Then we're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to that straight leg. I want you to be somewhere between your ankle and your knee, not on them, but in between them, all right, on that bone. We're going to push off that bone to help rotate our spine and our chest. I want you to try your best to stick your arm straight up into the air if you can. Rotate your neck to look at that hand. Inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. That is half a rep. We're going to do the other side. Make sure to exhale all the air out of your lungs when you're reaching. It will help you rotate a little bit more. All right? Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Fold forward, rotate, look up, inhale. Exhale and reach. That is 1. We're doing 5 of these in total. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. open it up, look at the hand, inhale, exhale, reach. Ooh, that's 2. Other side. Ooh, 2. We got 3 more. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open it up, look at the hand, inhale, exhale, reach. That's 3. On the other side, inhale, exhale, reach. Number 4, let's go. Look at the hand, inhale, exhale, reach. And other side, inhale, exhale, reach. That's 4. 5th and final one, let's do this. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open it up, look at the hand, inhale, exhale, reach. Other side, inhale, exhale, reach. Woo. That is our 5, sorry, not 10, 5 thoracic rotations. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit looser. You're able to do some wiggling, some shaking, some body rolls. And we're going to move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. These are called Cossack switches. All right. What I want you to do is going to look a little bit different depending on what level of skill you got, just like all the other things that we've been doing so far. We're going to open up our legs a little bit. Then we're going to try our best to squat down on one leg. If you're mobile and strong enough to get real deep, go ahead and get there. But if you're new to the show, you're just getting started, you haven't done many of these before, you might be a little bit higher up like this. All right. Wherever you are, it does not matter. Our next step is to bring your butt that way. If you're a little bit higher up, it might look like this. Boom. You don't have to do it all sassy like, you can just come across. But if you're a little deeper into the stretch, if you're down here or you're down here, you're going to use your hands to give yourself a little bit of support to help walk yourself over to the other side. When you get to the other side, wherever you are, high or low, we're going to pause here for a second. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into that stretched out position. Pause here for a second and then walk your hands back or come on over to the other side. We're going to count that as 1. All right? I'm going to do a whole bunch of these at a bunch of different difficulty levels. Pick one, experiment, find one that you like good and best or whatever, and do those. All right? If you're a little bit higher up, it might look a little bit like this. All right? That's 2. Let's do another. 3. If you're lower down, we talked about these already. Put your hands down, across, and back. That's 4. If you're able to do them without your hands and still stay super low, that's 5. Experiment. You don't have to push yourself. Just do your best. And if you're ready for something a little bit harder, even harder than before, try to sit up a little bit straighter. Extend your arms out in front of you to counterbalance and continue. That's 6. Let's do another. Up, across, and back across. That's 7. Now, if your knees are getting a little achy and you're like, ooh, I can't keep doing this, make it a little easier on yourself, all right? Come up a little bit, then come across, and then come on down, all right? So that your knees aren't suffering at the bottom part of that motion. And across. Now we're at 8. Let's do another. Across, 9. Up, across, 9. And for the final one, I want you to try your best to do a squat. I want you to push off of this leg, back into standing, slowly come back down on the other side. And let's go again. Boom, that is 10. Cossack switches, Cossack slide things, Cossack squats. That is our warm-up, all right? Shake out your legs, shake out your arms, give them a little flop, little shake, let them relax. If you've never been to the show before, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live hip mobility and side split stretching, all right? We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little easier to stay consistent with. So if you like hip mobility, you need to work on getting your hips to move a little smoother. If you want to work on hip mobility so much, you're going to get into some side split looking things. Great, because that's what we're here to do. Plus, we do it every single day to help you stay consistent. That does not mean you have to do it every single day, all right? That just means I'm going to be here at least to help support you. Cool? All right. Now that you know what the show's about, it's time for us to move on into our first stretch. We're going to start with a hamstring stretch. And I've been looking around trying to find my little foam mat. It's all the way over there, so I'll take another one right here. Nice. We're going to be on our knees, all right, for this hamstring stretch. What I want you to do is grab a little bit of foam, a little bit of padding to protect your knee. If you don't have fancy gym floor, whatever thing like this, a stuffed animal will do. Decorative cushions, travel pillows, couch cushions, decorative pillows, stuffed animals. I already said that. Flip flops, sneakers, anything with a little bit of foam, a little bit of padding will get you started. Dirty laundry. If you got a dirty towel that needs to be washed, you can just wait another day. Just roll it up, stick it under your knee, and we're ready to go. All right. From here, what we're gonna do while kneeling is try and stand up nice and straight and tall, so that our hips are above our knees, our shoulders above our hips, head is above our shoulders. From here, we're going to extend one leg out directly in front of us. All right. I don't want you to cross over. I don't want you to go too wide. Try to go straight in front of that hip. Cool. So, if I were facing forward, it look like this. Cool. From here, we're gonna fold forward and get into a hamstring stretch. We're gonna take a big breath in into our stomach. We're gonna exhale and fold. Woo! As soon as you get stuck, you go, oh, I don't like this anymore. We're gonna pause. We're gonna inhale. We're gonna relax and let our bodies fold into the floor. Woo! We're gonna do that twice more. All right, inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can drop your body a little deeper into that stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into the stretch. Next, we're going to add some movement. All right. What I want you to do is bring your knees up so that you are in this sort of lunging position. Then I want you to fold your torso, your whole entire chest, down towards that leg. If you can get your whole upper body against the leg, perfect. If you can't get there quite yet, that's okay. Just try your best. All right. From here, with your chest down, I want you to put your hands on the floor. I want you to scoot your leg forward a little bit and then straighten it out. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. All right. That's one. We're going to do 5 of these. Right? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Ooh, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Ooh, that's 3. Adjust your feet positioning to make sure that when you straighten out your leg, you're not, sort of moving all over the place. You can move your feet. You don't have to move the rest of your body. Cool? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. I think that's 4. Let's do it again. Last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. Now that you're practicing that folding technique and you know what our end result wants to look like, we're going to fold a little bit deeper. Y'all ready? Let's do this. We're going to take a big breath in to our lungs. We're going to slowly exhale all the air we just inhaled, and then we're going to fold our belly buttons down towards the ground at the same time as we're exhaling. All right? Let's go. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Woo! Inhale, relax. Let your body flop a little deeper into that stretch. Yours does not have to look like mine. Remember, the goal is just to let your body relax and lean forward. Inhale. Relax. That's 2. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Inhale. Relax. Let your body flop over that leg. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. Let's keep going. You might be finding that you don't have to lift your knee as high to bring your chest down to touch it. All right. That is what we want. Push those heels away from you so you don't have to bend your knee as much. Fold forward, fold down to that thigh. Whew, and straighten out that leg. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Once you're done about 5, wherever that is, we're going to do one more inhale, exhale, fold, and we're going to get ready to wrap. All right. Big breath in, inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold that belly button down. Woo. Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper. Inhale, relax. Let your body just chill. Fold in. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 4. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 5. We're almost done. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale, relax. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember, yours does not have to look like mine. You're just trying to bring your upper body down to that thigh. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is one hamstring. Captain Morgan pose. Bring that leg back in. Come back into kneeling for a hot second. Flex your glutes, flex your hamstrings, and let's jump into the next one. Whew. Other leg. Bring it in front of you, and let's prepare to fold forward. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whew. As soon as you get stuck, that's all right. You can stop right there. Inhale. Relax. Let your body just flop. You don't have to push yourself down, just let it chill. All right. If your back is rounded because you're chilling, perfect. If your back is rounding because you're trying to smash your face into your knee and you're working really hard, stop working so hard. Chill out, relax. All right. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Third time's the charm. Let's do it again. Inhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Whew. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Let's go. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings when you straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. I think that's 3, 2 more. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 4. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 5. All right. We are ready to fold. You all ready? Let's do this. Big breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring the belly button down. Oh. Inhale, relax. Chill. Let your body drape. Let your body flop. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into the floor. One more inhale. Relax. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. And we are ready to fold a little bit deeper. This is the last one, I promise. Inhale, exhale, fold. You all ready? Let's do this. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Belly button down. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Inhale, relax again. Inhale. Let your body flop. Inhale, relax. And knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 4. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds and we're ready to wrap it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If you're a regular on this show and you want to take this stretch to the next level, you can try to smash your heel into the ground like you're trying to push your foot into your basement or the floor beneath you. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Relax, 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 relax. Bring a leg in underneath you. That is our hamstring stretch. If that felt like a lot, that's because it was. You know why it was so much? Because you got a whole bunch of other stretches that need your hamstrings to not get in the way so you can focus on the other parts. So spent a whole bunch of time on the hamstrings, and now it's time for us to move on. Get rid of your cushioning. You don't need it anymore. But what you do need is a wall. I want you to sit with your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head all up against the wall because we are moving on into our butterfly stretch. And I want you to have this nice back support when you do it. All right? So, butt, low back, shoulders, head up against the wall. Bring your feet together, pull them in until you're in this position. From here, we're trying to bring our knees down into the ground so that we feel more of a groin stretch. All right, that's the point of the butterfly stretch. So what I want you to do is use your glutes. I want you to use your outer thighs. I want you to pull your legs so that they go down. If you're new to the show, you haven't figured out how to bring your knees down all the way, just whatever muscles you're confused about, don't worry about it. Just focus on two things, not four things, two things. Try to feel a more intense stretch here in the inner thighs. And two, if your knees look like they're going down towards the ground, you're doing great. All right. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure on the inside of the knee. We're going to try and push straight down. And when you do, you're going to feel pressure in the back of your head. That's normal. We're going to count down from 30 seconds. I want you to keep on breathing. Big breaths in, big breaths out. On the exhales, I want you to push your legs down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more until you just can't go any further. Cool? All right. It's not supposed to be a painful stretch. It shouldn't be comfortable because you're stretching, but it should not be painful. So if you get to a painful point, you can call it right there. Don't go any further. All right? 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 16. 15. 14. 13. 11. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. That is about 30 seconds. If you want to go for a little longer, feel free to go a little bit longer. I'm still going, so, you can relax now. Let your wrists shake a little, let your wrists flop a little bit. Hopefully you could hear me exhaling really loud, and when I was exhaling, I wasn't counting, and you were also trying to line up your exhale a little bit so that we could all push down on our legs at around the same time. Cool? If you weren't able to do that, don't worry. You don't have to match my tempo. You can do it at your own speed. And it's just, if it helps you to know what number we're at and why I'm suddenly not talking, that's why, because I'm trying my best to exhale so I can get deeper in the stretch, right? That was 30 seconds. I want you to shake out your arms, shake out your wrists, flap the wings of your legs in this butterfly stretch, and flap, 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 flap. When your legs have regained some motion, when you're moving a little bit smoother, we're going to move on into our third stretch. We're going to do some standing pancake, all right? If you don't have great balance, you might want to try a seated pancake. I'm going to demonstrate it real fast, but for most of us, you're going to get the most benefit from the standing pancake. All right? In the seated pancake, I want you to find something nice and sturdy that you can sit on that will hold your weight. And I want you to put it up against the wall so that it can't slide out from behind you. All right? What we're going to do next is going to apply it to everyone. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. Doesn't have to be crazy wide, just decently wide. And we're going to fold. We're going to bring our belly buttons down towards the ground. We're going to go wee. Ugh. And as soon as you get stuck, stick your arms out, breathe, inhale, exhale, and let gravity pull you down for the next 30 seconds. All right? That is how we're doing the seated pancake. But like I said earlier, most of us are going to benefit from doing the standing pancake because the less flexible you are, the more likely that getting to 90 degrees is going to be kind of tough. When you're at about 90 degrees, this is when gravity pulls you down the most and gives you the most help. And this is what we want for most people, to have the most help from gravity. So what I want you to do is, just like before, open up your legs a bunch. Doesn't have to be crazy. It's up to you how far you open. And I want you to fold forward at the hips and bring your belly button down towards the ground. If you're a little bit higher up, perfect. That is exactly why we're doing the standing pancake, because gravity is still pulling you down. All right. If you're a little bit lower, you might be curious about trying a seated pancake, but you can do that tomorrow. Because I already talked about those. We're doing the standing pancake now. All right. From here, to make gravity feel more intense, stick your arms out in front of you so that your biceps are by your ears. Inhale. Exhale. Relax and see if you can get a little bit further folded down. All right. If you feel like your face is a little too close to the floor for comfort, you're like, ooh, that's scary. You can stick your butt back behind you a little bit. When you lean back, your chest will come up a little bit and you'll get right back to something close to horizontal again. Because before your face was too close to the floor, right? So when you sit your butt back, your chest comes back up. Cool? That's it. That's the whole thing. Open up your legs wider if you want, no pressure. Stick your butt back if you want, no pressure. Extend your arms out in front of you, yes pressure. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. If it's too intense, you can always put your hands down. You don't have to hold it for the whole time. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 2, 1, 0. All right. Put your hands down. Bring your legs in. If your leg's not coming in, do a little wiggle. Bring your heels in. Wiggle your toes in. Wiggle your heels in. Wiggle your toes in. Wiggle your heels in. Wiggle your toes and heels and toes and heels and toes and heels and toes and heels until you're able to come back into standing. Put your hands on your thighs. Push yourself off, and whew, we're done with stretch number 3. That is our standing pancake. All right. And the standing pancake is one of the reasons why we spend so much time in the hamstring stretch, because regardless of your folding, when you're folding forward, doesn't matter if your legs are together or if your legs are wide when you fold forward, your hamstrings are getting stretched. So hopefully that hamstring stretch helped you focus on getting able and down into that inner thigh stretch we talked about. All right. Remember, that was optional, so you didn't have to feel it in your inner thighs, but you could. Next, we're going to move on into our 4th stretch. It's a little bit more chill. It's a little bit more relaxing, kind of, sort of, depending on how much flexibility you have, I guess. So maybe it's not chill at all. We're going to move on into our 4th stretch. It is either the pigeon or the figure 4 stretch. I'm pretty sure last night we did the figure 4, so I'm going to talk about the pigeon stretch, all right? Both stretches have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side, we're lifting that leg up to our chest, our belly button. We're going to bring our belly button down to that leg. We're going to fold forward, and from the side, it's going to look a little bit like this, all right? Just ignore this leg that's standing, but we're going to be in this position. You're going to feel a stretch here in the glute, in the hamstrings, and you might feel a little bit right here where you're actually folding. So to do the pigeon, and also if you are a regular, feel free to jump into whichever one you like. But to do the pigeon, we're going to take this position. We're going to create it on the floor. All right. So come on down. Sit your butt down. Bring this leg across your body. Find a midpoint between the knee and the ankle. I like this right here. If you got really long leg bones, then your midpoint might not look quite the same. Maybe, whatever it looks like. Find a midpoint. If it's possible, take this middle line between your eyes down to your belly button and try to touch the midpoint. All right, let's go. Wee! And fold forward. That's our pigeon stretch. All right, super straightforward. We got a couple of options for this leg. Mine is currently straightened out directly to the side because I find that super easy and comfortable. If you like that, go for it and do that. If you don't got the flexibility for it, maybe you can try bending the leg back behind you. All right. When you get into that position and you fold forward, if you feel like that's crazy awesome, stick with that one. If you've done some yoga, you might have seen a version where we extend this back leg back, and if you're going to try right now, you're going to feel a huge stretch right here. You're going to feel some pressure on the knee. If this is uncomfortable for you, 1, you don't have to do it. But 2, if you really want to do it, things you can do to make this a little easier on your hips, on your knees is just lean forward a little bit. That'll take some pressure off the hip. But something that will be way more practical and useful is elevating your front leg. All right. When you elevate your front leg, your hips are going to come up as well, unless you are insanely flexible, which you probably aren't because you're on this show for beginners. From here, we're going to notice that because our hips are high, this back leg has so much more room to get underneath, and we can still fold forward. We can still feel that stretch in the front leg while giving that second leg a nice bit of stretching as well. All right. So find a way to get into a variation that makes sense for you. If you can do it on the floor, go ahead and do it on the floor. If you want to elevate your leg, coffee table, ottoman, couch, bed, anything that can, have you lay into it, lean into it, and stay stable is going to be good enough. All right? Let's go. Leg is across the body. We're finding that midpoint. We're finding that middle line between our eyes down to our belly button. We're folding forward. Extend the leg back behind you if you want to. You don't have to. And we're going to breathe. We're going to bring our belly button down to the floor. Our hips are staying low. And let's sink into the floor. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. I want you to breathe in. And then I want you to exhale long, slow exhale. Melt into the floor. Bring your face into the floor. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. I'm counting. You don't have to do anything, so just breathe nice and deep and exhale. Sink into the floor. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. We're going to do the other side now. All right. Just like before, on the other leg, we're bringing it across our bodies. We're going to find that middle line and that midpoint in the leg. We're going to fold forward, extend the back leg behind you, and inhale. Exhale. Stick your butt down as low as you can. Then fold your upper body down. Fold, 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 fold. Fold some more. Keep folding. Sink into the floor. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Hopefully, your booty is feeling all right because that is our stretch. We've just finished 4 of our 5 stretches. We're moving on to our 5th and final stretch now. If you haven't heard the spiel yet, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully make the suffering that we put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with. All right? It's time to move on into our 5th and final stretch. If you haven't figured, we have some side splits to do, but these side splits are different. We're doing 3 rounds of 30 seconds of side splits. I think I saw a question come in because I was just barely close enough. I think it said neck hump. We'll cover questions at the end of the live. We're almost there. All right. Before we begin in our side splits, I want you to hit follow. I want you to hit subscribe, and I want you to keep coming back because we do this every day. But I also want you to grab some hand support. All right. The purpose of the hand support is to do this. Put your hands on something so that you can bring your legs wide. Because again, we're doing side splits. All right. It does not have to be that exact stool. If you got a shorter one, that might work just fine. If you have a chair, that might work just perfect. And if it feels like it's a little too high, you can always stick your elbows down. All right. If you have yoga blocks that are a little chunky and stable, you can feel free to use that. Whatever you do use, I recommend. Oh, what? I recommend that it be lightweight enough that you can kind of like scoot it out of the way when you don't want it there, or like flip it over and throw it. If you actually, I want this one when you don't want it to get in your way. And we want it to be stable enough that you can put all of your weight on it and nothing will happen. All right. So hopefully you've taken all that talking time to find something to use because we're going to get ready to go. Grab your hand support and bring your butt to the wall. All right. If you don't have a perfect thing, by the way, you don't have a chair, you don't have a stool, you don't have something, an ottoman and a coffee table might work, but you need kind of more space because we're going to use the wall as the priority. All right. The wall is more important than the coffee table. All right. So next step, bring your butt to the wall. The wall is your best friend. It's going to keep you from falling backwards. It's going to give you some support. It's going to help you feel comfortable while we're doing the stretch. So butt up against the wall. Open up your legs just a little tiny bit, and we're going to prepare to fold. Bring the belly button down towards the ground. Whee! Put your hands on your hand support. Adjust your hand support. Open up your legs a little bit and see if you can find a wider but still comfortable position. Right? I don't want you to be super stretched out and going right away. That's not where we're at yet. Next, we're going to rotate our legs so that our hip bones don't smash into our thigh bones. There's this lumpy part in your thigh bone. If you just lift your legs up like this, they will smash pretty much like 99% of the time. But quick trick for that is to just rotate your leg backwards, right? So right now my heel is down, my toes are up, my knees are pointing up, and my leg has rotated backwards about 90 degrees. Cool? That makes the little thigh bone nub face the backside towards my butt instead of smashing into my hip. And it should be the same for you for like 99.9% people. All right, cool. Next, we gotta do the other side. Boom, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. So right now, let's recap. Our hands are on our hand support. It's supporting some of our body weight. Our heels are down, our toes are up, our knees are pointing straight up, and our butt is resting against the wall. We're going to slowly slide down the wall and find a deeper, more comfortable, or not more comfortable, but a comfortable-ish position deeper down towards the ground. All right. The goal here is to make sure you don't feel like you're about to slip, to make sure you don't feel like you're about to tip over, to make sure you don't feel like you're about to lose balance and you're about to collapse into a little pile of you on the floor. And the reason for that is because when you feel not safe, your muscles are going to tense up. They're going to try their best to control the situation. That's not what we want. We want to relax into a deeper stretch. So I want you to find a position where you're like, hey, it seems like I can balance, I can chill here. I'm okay for the moment. And once you are here, hopefully now, finally, because I've been trying to describe the situation for so long, we're gonna breathe. All right, big breath in, inhale, hold it, chill, slowly exhale. See if you can relax into a slightly deeper stretch. If you can't move, if you're not moving yet, don't worry about it. Don't pressure yourself. Pressuring yourself is the exact opposite of relaxing. All right, inhale, hold, hold. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a tiny bit deeper into the stretch. All right. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Hold. La, 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 la. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Again, if you're not moving downwards, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Stressing out about it is not going to help make it any easier. Right? We're going to do some optional little wiggles. Try to do a little wiggle out to the right, little wiggle out to the left, wiggle out to the right, little wiggle to the left, wiggle to the right, wiggle to the left. If your legs aren't going anywhere, perfect. We're ready to stop. Right now, your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up, the top of your head is reaching up into the ceiling, your butt is against the wall, your hands are on your hand support, and we're in a great side split position. We're going to count down for about 30 seconds. All right? And that's it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Add a little wiggle in if you feel like it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's our stretch. If you can, if you got light enough hand support, scoot it out of the way. Try to walk your hands forward a little bit. Give your legs a little bit more room. Pull them in underneath you. That is our first side split stretch. All right, come back into some sort of kneeling, sitting, relaxing position. Give yourself a couple seconds to breathe. Congratulations, you've done your first side split. All right, we got 2 more rounds. Don't be intimidated. They come faster than the first one because I don't have to explain as much. All right, when you're ready, come on back into standing. We got to shake out our legs. We got to relax the muscles so that we can prepare for side split number 2. Cool? I want you to hold on to something for balance if you need it. And I want you to slowly, gently shake out your ankle. All right. I want you to shake it forward, backwards, side to side. Shake, 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 shake. I want you to let your ankles flop all over the place. I lifted my foot pretty high up so that if you're on mobile, it's above the chat. But if you are at home, you don't need to lift your leg. You can keep it real low to the ground. All right. The only thing we care about is how relaxed that leg is because we want those muscles to not be tense so that we can sink into a deeper side split. All right. Let's do the other side. Shake out the ankle, nice and gentle. Give it a little flop, little wiggle, little shake, flop, 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 wiggle, 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 shake, 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 floppity, flop, 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 wiggle, 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 shake, 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 shake. If you're feeling loose, you're feeling comfortable, you can shake a little harder. You can pick up the intensity. You don't have to. It's not that big a deal. The goal again is to relax. Now take a couple of steps. If your legs are feeling a little bit better, you can do a couple of dance moves. You can shimmy back and forth. Then we're doing pretty good. We're gonna move on into our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg. Then I want you to put the big toe of the other leg down. Your leg should be bent if that toe is down. All right. I want you to open up this hip. I want you to point this knee directly that way. Then I want you to bring that knee in, flex these muscles in the hip, make the knees almost touch together. All right. And then we're going to do the opposite. Open, close, open, close. If you're new to the show, you don't really understand how to use these muscles yet, then focus on trying your very best to understand how to use those muscles and build some strength, build some control here. If you've been doing this for a while, you can go a little bit faster. You can turn into a dance move, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and have a little bit more fun. All right, let's get ready to switch to the other side. All your weight is in this leg. Big toe is down. We'll bring the knee in and out and in and out. The goal is to develop some more hip mobility. It's also to eventually allow you to shake a little faster, just flop and relax. But for now, if you need to learn how to use those muscles first, we're going to do nice and slow and then slowly pick up the intensity as we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right? Shake out your legs, shake out your arms, shake out your legs, shake out your arms, shake out everything. We're ready to get into side split number 2. Whew. All right. Grab your hand support, bring it close to you. Bring your butt up to the wall. And let's get ready to go. Open up those legs just a little bit while your butt is resting on the wall. Fold forward, bring the belly button down. Whee! Hands on your hand support. Open up those legs, find a comfortable spot so we can get ready to rotate them. All right? Hands are on your hand support. Rotating the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. We got to do both sides. Boom. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Your butt is resting against the wall. Your heels are sliding out from each other. Your hands are on your hand support. You're trying to get a little bit deeper into your stretch. All right? Find a comfortable-ish position where you feel like you're in control, where you don't feel like you're going to slip, you don't feel like you're going to fall, you don't feel like you're about to topple over, where you can almost just chill and relax there. All right? Once you have found something close enough, we're going to start breathing. We're going to try our best to relax. Inhale, hold, hold, exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale, hold, hold, exhale, relax. That's 2. If you've shifted a bunch, you dropped a lot lower, and you need to adjust your hand support, you need to adjust your legs, you need to adjust your butt so that you're back into a stable feeling position, please do it. All right? And now, inhale, exhale, relax. Let's go. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. That's 3 times. Optional. Little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left. See if you can push your heels out just a little tiny bit further. If it's not going anywhere, don't worry about it. We're ready for side split number 2. You got the option. You can stick with the version 1 that we just did where the heels are down, the toes are up, knees are up, head is pointing up. There's also another version I like to introduce to you, which has us sort of leaning forward a little bit. All right? My hands have come forward a little bit. And now my knees and my toes are pointing up at a diagonal at around 45 degrees. When you do this, you're going to feel more of a stretch in your inner thighs. That is what we want. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. If you feel like the stretch isn't intense enough, you can always bend your elbows. When your elbows are bent, your legs are going to take up more of the burden of your body weight. 17, 16, 15, optional little wiggle. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost done. Keep breathing. 2, 1, 0. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Ooh, bring your legs in slowly with control. And that is our second side split. All right. Take a second. Kneel, sit back, relax, chill, catch your breath in. Breathe. All right. When you're ready, we're going to come back into standing. We're going to shake out our legs. We're going to do side split number 3. All right. Shakety, shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle some more. Wiggle again. Keep wiggling. And shake out those legs. Remember, the goal is relaxation. And if your leg is flopping around going crazy all over the place, chances are it's relaxing. Because if it was all tense, you'd be like a tin man, all right? You'd be a robot. And that's, well, maybe not robots these days, but how we imagine robots in the past. Let's continue on the other side. Shake out your ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Shakety, shake, shake, shake. Shake some more. Keep on shaking. Whee! Let's shake, shake, shake. Relax. Flop around. And whoo, let's move on to our hips. Oh, you're weight in one leg, big toe on the other is down. There's almost no weight on that leg. You can lift it up at any time and it won't mess with any balance. All right. From here, we're rotating the knee in and out and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Remember, if you are new to the show, do what you got to do. Focus on building strength, building control, figuring out that range of motion, how to contract those muscles. If you're a regular, have fun with it. All right. All your weight on one leg. Big toe is down. Knee in and out, and 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 in and out. I can't remember the song that tune is from. So just if you remember, let me know. If I didn't do it long enough, I can't even remember how it started to get back into it. So let's continue with a couple of little last second wiggles and get ready to do side split number 3. All right. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. All right, let's go. Butt up against the wall. Hand support in front of you. Open up the legs just a little bit. Bring yourself down to the ground. Fold. Bring that belly button down. Hands in front of you on your hand support. Whee! Come on down. And open up those legs just a little bit. Find a comfortable spot so that we can rotate our legs backwards to keep the thigh bone from smashing into our hip bone. Ready? Let's go. Rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Other side, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. And your butt is resting against the wall. Your hands are on your hand support. Adjust things as you need to find yourself a little bit closer to the floor. All right? Your butt is on the wall. Your hands are on your hand support. Those are all to support you, to make sure you don't feel like your legs are doing all the work here. And once you found your comfortable spot, you don't feel like you're going to slip, you don't feel like you're going to topple over, we're ready to breathe and relax. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Maybe another. Let's go. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. If you're not going anywhere, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. All right. Little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left, little wiggle, 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 wiggle. And if you can't go any further, we're ready to go for side split number 3. You got the option. Side split 1, where your toes, knees, head are pointing straight up. Side split 2, where your knees and your toes are kind of pointing forward at a 45-ish degree angle. And I'm going to do a slightly different variation that requires me using my muscles to hold myself up a lot more intensely. So I hope you're in position. We're going for 30 seconds. Let's do it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, boom, we're done. I dropped the earbud. Hold on. Oh, walk your hands forward a little bit. Bring your legs in slowly into the center of your body. Oh, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, because that was hard. And rest for a second. Catch your breath. Breathe. All right. Congratulations. We just did the 3 hardest parts of the show. 3 side splits are done. When you're ready, come on back up into standing. We're going to shake out our legs. Shakety shake, shake, shake. Shakety shake. What's up?
Nothing, just I was wondering if the sun was different.
Oh.
Someone said it's hard not to lean forward.
It's hard not to lean forward. Which part of that is hard? When are you, what position are you in when you're trying not to lean forward? For the rest of us, shake out your legs. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shakety shake. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. We're done with. If you are leaning forward, if you're not leaning forward super far, like you're basically folding your whole entire chest into the floor, that's fine. Lean forward. That's totally, totally fine. And in fact, in a second, I'll demonstrate why it's totally fine. Just give me a little bit. All right. Shake out your legs. Shake out your hips. Do a little wiggle. Do a little dance. And let's shake out our hips the normal way. All your weight in one leg, big toe is down. Knee in, knee out, 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 and in and out, in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Other side. All your weight in one leg, big toe is down, in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, 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 and whoo. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 and let's wrap up with our joint checks, and then I'll officially dive into the Q&A. All right. Joint checks. We're gonna do some hip circles, nice and slow. Lean deep into that hip, and we're doing some hip circles. Come on around. Take it nice and slow. Feel all the places where your hips, your back, the front of your hips, the sides of your hips, the back sides of your hips are feeling a whole bunch of pressure and tension. And do a couple of circles. Slowly come on through. If something feels crazy, feels intense, you probably just need to hang on to that a little bit, right? So take a second, hang out there. And if you've been doing circles just one way, switch at some point. Switch now if you haven't. And I don't remember which way I started, so I guess I might not be switching. When you're done a bunch of those and you're feeling a little bit better, we're going to move on into some crazy looking calf raises that put us through a crazy amount of range of motion work. Cool? All right. Calf raises. I want you to bring your legs to about hips width to begin with. Not super wide, not super narrow, about hips width. All right? And we're going to pop into a bit of a squat. Boom. From here, I want you to lean really far forward so that your head is kind of almost tipping you over that way. Cool? And then I want you to squat down a little bit lower. Push your knees forward if you can. All right. Yours does not have to perfectly look like mine. We all have different body proportions, different amounts of flexibility. So I just want you to try your best to push your head that way and push your knees that way. When you do both those things, you should feel a nice stretch in your Achilles tendon, in your calves. You can poke them to double check. They are all tense and crazy. All right. When you're in this crazy angle, your toes should be working real hard to grip into the ground to keep you from toppling forward. And that is what we want. We want your toes and your feet working real hard. From here, hold on to the floor, hold on to a chair, hold on to the wall, hold on to something if you need it, and we're gonna do some calf raises. All right. I want you to get into that knee forward position, feel that stretch in the calves, then come on up all the way as high as you can. Try to balance your weight between the big toe and the index toe. When you come down, lean forward again, reset, come on up and down. Lean forward, reset, come on up. Come on down, lean forward, reset, come on up. Come on down, lean forward, reset. You can slow down the reps. You can take your time. That's just going to make you feel even worse, but that's probably good for you. So don't don't hesitate to do it anyway. All right. When you're tired and you're like, no more, this is crazy. I'm ready to wrap. Go ahead and wrap. What we just did was put our bodies through a ton of stuff all at the same time, right? Our toes were gripping the floor to help keep us from toppling forward. Our arches were trying to flex real hard to keep our feet stable. We're in a crazy stretch for our calves. Our Achilles tendon was getting a nice crazy stretch. Our quads were firing because we're in that squatting position. Our low back was firing because we're leaning forward. We had our hips, our knees, our ankles all work really well together, including our feet and our toesies. And that was one super crazy way to get some calf raises done, and also check that most of your joints are doing okay too. All right, that is our show. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me today, because we're done. That's it. This is the whole thing. I make a bunch of other content. Most of it is not side splits related. Most of it is about trying to make fitness a little bit more fun, so that you think about moving as a part of your life and not, you know, fitness, I have to go work out. All right. When you got 2 minutes, you're waiting for the microwave to heat up some lunch. You're waiting for your coffee to come out the machine. When you're waiting for pasta to boil in a pot, those are a couple minutes that you can just be doing a little bit of something. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be incredible, doesn't have to be advanced, technically superior. You don't have to pick the best 5 exercises off of YouTube or anything. If you could just do some calf raises while you're waiting for your coffee to finish. If you could do a couple of lunges in front of your sink while you're waiting for your microwave to do whatever it has to do. Try not to touch a hot stove when you're making pasta. Go away a little bit from it, but then after that, do some of our Cossack switches, right? If you could do 2 minutes of any of those exercises, it'd be a ton, right? We did 30 seconds of most of these stretches, and for most of us, it was probably pretty brutal. So don't sleep on those 2 minute periods. They most definitely count. And even if they're not super ridiculously optimal for building muscle, for most of us, that is not your priority. Most of us need movement to just not be stiff, to move a little bit better so that we're not just cranky and stiff and grumpy old people in the future, and especially for our joints. All right? Our joints don't have blood vessels. They don't get the same nutrients that our muscles do. And for them to heal, for them to clear waste, for them to get better at things, they have a system called synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is basically this goopy stuff that only hangs out kind of around the joints. But the only way for you to flush the goopy stuff is by using the joints, by moving. So if you've had nagging knee discomfort for a while and you've been babying that knee, you haven't been using it at all, maybe you should try a little bit of movement. I'm not saying you got to go jumping up and down some jump rope or anything crazy like that. Just start with some gentle knee movement. If you've been doing some of the other lives, like our Saturday and Sunday morning lives, where we do a little bit more joint mobility work, you might have seen a couple of these movements for your knees. These little joint circles, knee circles, sort of bring your knees through a huge portion of their range of motion and help to get you a little bit more used to moving them, all right, while staying relatively gentle and light on the body. Cool? So that's my spiel. You should move more, and you don't have to treat it like everything has to be a workout, right? If you're just doing a couple of calf raises while you're doing dishes, fantastic. If you're in line at the grocery store, incredibly bored, and you otherwise were going to be doom scrolling, make sure that you hit follow, hit subscribe, so that I can pop up somewhere during your doom scrolling and give you a healthy little reminder that you could be moving a little bit while you doom scroll. All right? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I'm ready to look at some Q&A. So let's scoot back and see what's going on. Kays is back, says thank you very much. I wouldn't go so hard as if I weren't following you. I wouldn't go as hard if I weren't following you. Yes, that's normal. It's it's incredibly hard to work up the excitement to do exercise on your own, and that is some of the benefit of group classes, right? When before I last moved, there was a YMCA near me, and my girlfriend and I were going to like 7 classes a week, like every single night, right after dinner. As soon as we finished, we would go drive over to the YMCA. It was super close. That's why it was super convenient. We went 7 days a week because we would join in for the 7 p.m. like Pilates class, and it wasn't like a super intense class. It wasn't like super jacked people doing Pilates or anything like that because it was local YMCA. But we did way more exercise in those couple of months that we started going to that Y before we moved, and it didn't feel like work. All we had to do was get our butts there to start it. And that sort of is a little bit of the inspiration for what I want this show to kind of provide for the people who are here. A lot of the time, you might know exactly what you need to do, but you just don't do it. You might have already watched hours and hours and hours of videos saying this is the best exercises for X, Y, and Z, and you're like, I got this list. I already know what I want to do, but you don't do it. And that is incredibly normal. So hopefully my unnecessarily enthusiastic voice for these stretches, these exercises helps you to push a little bit harder, help you to work towards some hip mobility, some side splits, and hopefully one of your goals now. All right. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Let's see. Buddha Crocuda says, me too. Buddha says, I swore a bit less on the third side split. Great. That's good. That means you're making progress. Incredible. Kachi says, my knees feel better with the rest I had, but I'm glad I'm back. Great, Kat. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling a little better. Good job taking a bit of time. Sometimes when you're super excited, when you're enthused about something, it's really hard to take time off. Um, a lot of people have a hard time doing enough and also doing and resting enough. Those are both really hard, especially when you're really enjoying it. And when you're really enjoying it, oftentimes people do too much and they'll not rest enough. And Sometimes it's just hard to balance. So we want you to be excited. I want you to be really happy to be here. But sometimes maybe it's not a good thing. Dwayne says, "Thank you, Ken, so much. You're very welcome." Book says, "See you tomorrow, same time, same bat channel." Yes, yes, that's right. I'll be here. Kaji says that was nice. Amelia says thank you. Amelia says the split. All right, let's see. Amelia says it's hard not to lean forward in the split. Let's talk about that. When we're doing the side splits, there's a couple of things about hip anatomy that I want you to know. I try to cover it whenever anybody asks after the show, but during the show, it's a lot to talk about and explain. So I try to, you know, put this portion at the end for the people who are curious. But there are a couple of things to know. All right. So when you're sitting down on the floor and you're sort of sitting down like this, kind of looks a little bit like how we were starting some of our stretches, right? Except we were probably standing, letting gravity help pull us down. When you're in a seated position, the reason why we don't do a seated position is because gravity does not pull you down in the way we want when you're stuck in this position, right? If you lean a little bit forward, yes, gravity's starting to pull you forward. But for most people, you're going to struggle to get a little far forward. You're going to be much closer to here or maybe even here. And that's why we stand. That was a little bit of a tangent and not about the side split. That was just in general because I sat down. But when your legs are like this, your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, and you bring your legs all the way out, this is a form of the side split. When you get all the way, all the way, all the way out there, right? And this should not be painful. There should not be a bone smashing into your hip, right? One of the reasons why we do the side split the way we do is because, or the main reason we do the side split the way we do is because your thigh bone is kind of bent like this, and your hip socket kind of looks like this. And then if you lift your leg up all the way up like this, that lumpy part of your thigh bone is going to smash into this chunk of your hip and it's going to cause you to hurt here at the hip. The reason why we rotate the leg backwards 90 degrees is to get this lump to go backwards 90 degrees so that it kind of does this, right? There's a little bit more space in the hip socket when it goes behind. And because that is what we want, we adjust our leg position a little bit. But this right here, when we're seated and we bring the leg out all the way to the side, this is exactly that. That is the leg rotated out and the lumpy part going backwards, right? When we do our side splits, when we have our butt resting up against the wall, when we have our heels down, we're basically just doing this. It's the same angle, rotated forwards a little bit, right? Our butt is resting against the wall. There's an imaginary wall here. Our heels are down, our toes are pointing up, and our folding at the waist gets us to about 90-ish degrees when our hands are here, right? More or less. And if we just sat down, I'm basically maintaining that angle and having my feet and my toes point up, right? So that position should be comfortable enough for most people that you can get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And that is why the side split show is structured the way that it is. But you're talking about leaning forward, and you're probably wondering why am I explaining all this when I should have been answering a question about leaning forward. When we do the side splits, and when I do the version at the end that I do by myself, it looks a little bit like this. All right. My feet are flat on the ground. I stick my butt out. I fold forward, bring my belly button down a little bit. And so basically, I'm back in that position that we've been talking about this whole entire time. Folding forward. Right? Is basically still this angle, 90 degrees. Except I lift my upper back up and my butt is doing this. My butt is against the wall, or in this case, not against the wall. But if I was doing the side split this way, my butt would be against the wall. And if I gave you the same instructions like we usually have in our show, we would be basically folding our face into the floor. That is the exact same position as this one, except we just rotated further into the ground, right? Just rotating forward and backwards in this shape. When gravity is pulling us down, or in this shape, it helps pull our legs a little bit wider, right? When we're not getting that pull, and we're just using our own muscles to pull our legs out wide, we're not going to be typically we're not going to be able to get as far because our muscles aren't going to be nearly as strong as when gravity pulls us deeper into the floor. So wanting to lean forward is super normal because that is oftentimes how you're going to stay in a stable position. If you start leaning too far back, you get into territory where you're coming out of that stretch. You're getting into a position where your hips are going to start hurting. So wanting to lean forward is natural, but when you're in those crazy positions, you can't remember or tell what's supposed to be good and what's not supposed to be good because everything is uncomfortable, right? So leaning forward is totally fine. Don't worry about it. If I start talking about something completely different, it has absolutely nothing to do with your version of leaning forward, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully that wasn't too long and convoluted a way to tell you about why leaning forward is good. Cool? All right. Let's see. True Blue 323 says, evening, hip mobility family. I'm going to scroll all the way down and I'm going to take a look. Amelia says, okay, thank you. Same time every day. Awesome, awesome, awesome. True Blue says, Amelia, welcome. Please come back. Ken also does lives on the weekend, same time, but in the morning. Oh, amazing. Amelia says, I'm new, but this chat feels comfortable. Oh, amazing. That's so nice. True Blue says, but the chat is so supportive, especially of new viewers. Y'all are so cute. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for making the chat an awesome place to be. All right. Amelia says, ooh, I get it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Um, I'm sure I could have thought of a better way to say that more cohesively, but we lean forward to let gravity pull our body down and force our legs to stretch. And when we sit down, when we use our muscles to do it, it's much harder. So gravity is awesome. It's our best friend. I say that about everything though. Gravity is our best friend. The wall is our best friend. Just we got lots of best friends. All right. It's okay to have two best friends. I hope that answers some of your questions. All right. Let's see what else we got. Do 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 do. I'm scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. I think I saw another question come in earlier. I don't know if I covered it well enough. The healer says, "Bro, I'm stuck." And Amelia says, "Low, he makes it look easy." Yes, I probably make it look easy because I've been doing some version of the show for like 500 plus days, and so I can just really, really quickly jump into it at this point because I have an insane amount of practice. I try to remember to say my version does not have to look like your version, and I try my best to make sure our instructions covers a full range of skill, right? Most of my instructions aren't like bring your chin to your knee, right? It's not that. It's more like fold forward, inhale, exhale, relax, let your body flop over into your leg or something like that so that you're moving in the general right direction. And my instructions have mostly been that way pretty much the entirety of the live. I might have gone more specific or try to like introduce a more fun way to describe it that might be or might not be as relevant. But mostly I've just started explaining less and less. So if there's anything you don't understand, feel free to just throw it in the chat. And if I don't address it because I don't see it right away, I'll get to it at the end. Cool. All right. Daughter of Zion says he can't see the chat, but he just posted on his YouTube a long form video about back exercises and stretches. So check it out. Ooh, let's take a look. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? We got the butterfly emoji. What is this? Yali Fav Leo says how to fix a neck hump. I honestly don't know. I haven't spent that much time exploring what a neck hump actually really is. So I don't have a good answer for how to fix a neck hump. But your spine from your neck all the way down to your waist. There's an issue with the mic. It might be because there's wind. There's air coming from the fan over there. So there might be some air flow. But I'll just move really close to the camera. And your spine is designed to do a whole bunch of things, and your neck is designed to do a whole bunch of things. So if you start moving it and exploring that range of motion, that might help. At least identify what needs extra work, extra attention. Your neck, for example, is designed to be able to go back and forward. I'm going forward right now, tucking the chin to the chest. And when you go up instead, you're trying to lift your chin up into the sky. You're going to try to look slightly behind where you're sitting, slightly behind where you're standing, and that should be pretty good range of motion. If you try to rotate to the side and look directly to the left, you should be able to see exactly to your left and exactly to your right. And there's one other angle where your neck should be able to move. It's this one. All right. We don't want the head to rotate too much like a bobblehead. We want it to go straight forward and to the left, straight forward and to the right. I'm doing this the wrong way. I don't know my directions apparently. But when you guys have it mirrored, maybe maybe it will actually be correct. And the neck is designed to move in those three ways, right? The spine has its own version. The spine is designed to slouch forward and bend forward, right? And backwards is designed to side bend and is designed to rotate. So if you explore some of those movements a little bit, hopefully that will start guiding you towards what the neck hump needs. I would imagine that you probably have something that looks a little bit like this, where the top of your neck is kind of stuck in the super bent position, and you're using your head muscles to lift your head up, even though this is stuck. So I would guess that towards the bottom of your neck, towards the upper half of your back, your spine needs some more mobility training. But how to do that, I got no idea, because you have a neck hump and it's stuck in that position. Cool. So I hope that gives you enough information to do some more research somewhere, because I don't think I know anybody who's specializing or talking about the neck hump a bunch on internet. So I don't think I have anybody to send you to go check out. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling. Daughter of Zion says my back hurts, need some stretch. Oh, I see. We did just release a video about the back and those four ways the spine is supposed to move: bending forward, bending backwards, bending side to side, and rotating. The video I just made was more about trying to relieve stiffness in your spine from sort of like sitting all day, or maybe you just got out of bed and your back is feeling real stiff, and you just do something to help move a little bit smoother. Those movements that are in that video on YouTube are all about trying to move a little bit to help wake up your spine. They're not going to solve your stiffness problem, but they will help you today move a little bit better so you can get back to doing whatever you got to do. And it'll only take a couple of minutes. The YouTube channel is called @splits on the side, so it's the exact same as the username on TikTok if you're on TikTok. And it's, I think it was released earlier today, so it should be a couple hours old. The newest video. Cool. All right. Let's see what else we got. Buddha Crocuta says, I appreciate the butterfly. Time travel. Amazing. The Chicago Bull says, I smashed my finger in the door. It hurts. I'm sorry your finger hurts, but I don't have much I can do to help you with that. Carol sends a heart. Thank you, Carol. Let's keep scrolling. Buddha says, late but made it. Travel Director said, I'm late too. All right. Bryce says, the goal himself. Welcome back, Bryce. It's good to see you. All right, scrolling to the bottom, see if there's anything else that has come in. Amelia says, I had someone tell me about making my body straight. It was tough. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. And I'll tell you specifically when that yes applies. I'm gonna try and do the side split at an angle. When we are in the side split and you're doing a version where the feet stay flat down. So most of the live that we do, because I don't want to spend too much time trying to explain the difference that I sort of explained to you, the group today, between the leg rotated and the not leg rotated situation, we spend most of our time in the stretch with our heels down, our toes up, and our knees pointing up like this, right? And when we are leaning forward like this, we're trying to get our legs wider open and coming down closer to the ground, right? And from the side, it's going to look like this. And I don't think you can actually see my feet, but just imagine my toes are pointing this way at this angle, right? From this angle, if your back is perfectly straight, you're actually getting back to a situation where your hips might hurt a little bit more. But if you're leaning forward a little bit more, it is going to be totally fine. And that's because our hips are kind of back up there, right? So in the version, in a slightly different version of the side split, in a more traditional sort of way that somebody else might teach the side split, uh, when we have our feet flat on the ground like this, and we go wide, and we come on down to the ground, at some point, your hips and your thigh bones will smash into each other, right? So you'll get stuck. But there is a way to solve that problem, and that way of solving that problem is to fold forward here, and then if you try to stick straight up, trying to get as straight up as possible, that will help you stay upright, right? So a lot of the time, the coaching tips for getting into a deep side split with your feet flat on the ground looks a little bit like this. You have to put the arch here in the low back in order to get your thigh bones to not smash into your hip bones. Something has to shift. And then instead of being here on the floor with your face down on the ground, the advice is to stay upright and stay nice and tall. Cool? So for as we get more and more advanced, I think that will be something that I have to add in a little bit more thoughtfully. But when we're just generally building our range down into a lower position, it's not that important whether or not you're standing upright or if you're folded forward because the legs haven't really shifted anywhere. You're still trying to lengthen them in the exact same way. But it depends on what your goals are. For most people, if your feet were flat and you were leaning forward like this and then your legs went all the way, that's a form of the split. It's called the roadkill split in some forms of like gymnastics or something, where you just go and you lay down on the floor like that. So it really just depends on what your goals are. But typical coaching that you might see from somebody on the internet, where you keep your feet flat on the ground, will tell you to arch your back and lift your chest up and try to stand nice and tall. So that you don't like, fall over and lose balance and you don't need to use your hands. So you can let gravity really pull you down into the ground. Cool? Okay. I hope that makes sense. Amelia says, ooh, I get it. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Amelia says, cool. LOL. Awesome. All right. So the way I do what I do in this show is because I want to get as many people into getting started as fast as possible. And I find that trying to teach somebody to do this right here is this arch right here is going to probably be a little bit more complicated than stick your butt against the wall, lift your heels or put your heels down and your toes up, and just slide your butt along the wall until you come down. So that's what I've been sticking with. And when I talk about it, when we do stretch number 1 and we do stretch number 2 for the side splits, when we are in stretch number 1, we are basically just trying to lift the leg up in sort of this position, right? And then in stretch number 2, when we shift the hips forward, we're stretching out the inner thigh muscles. And that is much closer to what we're trying to do in the side splits when the feet are flat on the ground. I hope that makes sense. Cool. All right. Ugh. For everybody, in case you didn't know this, we need stretch number 2 of our side splits in order to actually get deeper into our side splits. Stretch number 1 we do because we also need that a little bit to get some other muscles to line up as well. But to actually truly get the side split, you definitely need a bunch of side split number 2. I often say on the live, stretch 1, stretch 2 is optional. Do whichever one you want, but do a bunch of stretch 2. All right? Okay. How are we doing on time? It is 10:25. I'm going to take a quick look at the YouTube chat and see what we got. Genjo Kojin says, I love it so much. I set daily alarms, so I'll join when possible. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for coming back. I remember seeing you in the chat yesterday. Markitecture3 says, randomly scroll to this. I love this. Subscribed. Amazing. I'm glad YouTube algorithm is doing its job and sending people my way who are finding it awesome. That's what we try to do. Try to make fitness a little bit more fun. Try to make you work a little bit harder by choice, and help us all practice a little bit of consistency so we can all work towards cool stuff together. All right. Robert K. Liebert said hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Queen RR says hello. How's everyone doing? And sending some smileys at the end. I love it. All right. That is it. How many people are left on the chat? 22 on TikTok and 4 on YouTube. So we're basically done. Everybody's gone home. or scroll down to whatever else they're going to do and scroll to. So I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the workout. I hope you're cooling off now. And I hope to see you soon because we do this live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you don't know when 9 p.m. Eastern is, this live started about 1 hour and 26 minutes ago. So whatever time that was, mark it down in your calendars. I don't know if you actually mark things in calendars or you just type things or tap things now. Man, I sound like an old person. Set an alarm like Genjo Coaching did over here on YouTube, so that to come back and we can work on some training together. All right, that's it. Get out of here. Go scroll to something else. I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of your night. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Thank you.